Good evening. You are welcome to another edition of Import-Export Platform Facebook Live from 3T Impest Trade Academy. My name is Dele Ayimibo. We'll continue our conversation on starting and managing export business. And today we are looking at part 73. Part 73 now. Like I said, we might end up in 100 in this series. But let's see how it goes. Let's see where we're able to eventually end up. But basically, the essence of this program, and which has kept us, made us to remain tenacious since we started, is because of the value we believe we are creating for individuals that are looking to go into export business. And we also strongly believe that this program is giving them a one-stop shop. A one-stop shop for them to be able to effectively manage the challenges that individuals face in trying to get into this space. We are discussing export market entry strategy, and this evening we'll be looking at how do you assess foreign market in order to select the market you want to go into. It's very important to understand the fact that all markets are not yours. 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 I'm emphasizing that because, someone called me this afternoon and she said she heard that we can help her with exports to do a handle export transaction, and that she produces soap, detergent, liquid soap, and the like. And immediately she told me, I said yes, okay, that you can export it, but you should be looking at the West African market. And she said, why? And I said, you can't send it to Europeans now. Before the white men came here, what were we using to wash our plate? Do we even have soap? If we have soap, it will be in the crude state. Maybe we learned the bar soap, the liquid soap, and all the soap we're using from them. I don't know the one that own the technology. So you can now export that to them. You can export that to them because they taught you. And since we even in Africa have refused to advance, they will have advanced far, 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 far more than you. So you really might not be able to compete. So I told her, look, I would recommend we focus on West Africa for your product. And of course, she reasoned with me and agreed with my position on our product. I'm basically saying that you cannot just decide and say this is what you want to do in terms of your product. What determines what you will be able to do with what determines the market you'll be able to go into is the nature of your product, the type of your product, the peculiarity of your product, and the peculiarity of the market in question. A number of factors come into play for you to take that decision. So how then do we assess foreign market? What objectives should be pursued in foreign market? What are the best products, place to distribute, pricing, promotional strategy for the foreign market? Number one, what is the potential of the market you are going into? How big is this market? Who are those in this market? So for example, let me see if I can just do some demonstration while I'm online. I'm trying to I'm actually going into a website now, and the website I'm going into is called that's the website. It's called the CIA Fat Book. CIA Fat Book. CIA Fat Book. So let's assume that I want to export that lady's soap to Côte d'Ivoire, for example. Côte d'Ivoire. Let me use Côte d'Ivoire. Let's say I want to export that lady's soap to Côte d'Ivoire. To Côte d'Ivoire, for example, Or okay, maybe they call it Ivory Coast. Okay. Yes, Cote d'Ivoire. Among CIFAT book, we are trying to check the market potential of Cote d'Ivoire. Now, on CIFAT book, you will see the summary. If you want to research on a country, you want to have a sense of different aspects of a country, I strongly recommend the CIFAT book. I strongly recommend the CIFAT book. I strongly recommend the CIFAT book. As at 2018, the population of Cote d'Ivoire is about 26 million people. 26 million people. If I'm selling soap, this is giving me an insight is that I have potential buyers, about 26 million people, or users. Users. Might not be buyers because children are there. Children are there. 26 million people. Now, out of these, those that are probably capable of buying the soap themselves, maybe the secondary school students and above, is actually about 60%. Those above 15 years, those in secondary school, 50%. Oh, okay. Adesha Adewale, thank you very much. You saw the interview. All right, someone was dropping a comment for the interview on Channels TV today, discussing some of the issues around import-export in Nigeria. Thank you very much. All right. So you have 60%. 60% of the country. Now, remember the total population of Cote d'Ivoire is about 26 million people. If I have 60% at my disposal that can buy the product or that are eligible, because most children might not have the money, but at least secondary school student, maybe in boarding house, an adult will be able to buy. And that's about 60%. Let's say an average of over 15 million. Over 15 million people, maybe 16, 17 million people that will be able to buy that product. That will be able to buy that product. And that's very important. Now, out of that, I have female. Female are, I'm looking at the female population. Female population of the country. Sorry. Okay. Female population is sorry, I'm trying to get the breakdown of the total. 26 million people. Demography. Sorry. Okay, I'm not able to get that. The reason why I'm looking for the female population is because if you are selling some kind of soap and cream, most likely you have more people among the female population. More among the female population. Now, let's go to the economy of Cote d'Ivoire. Let's go to the economy of Cote d'Ivoire. Let's go to the economy of Cote d'Ivoire. Economy of Cote d'Ivoire. Cote d'Ivoire GDP is 97.16 billion. GDP per capita is 3,900. So this country, fairly, I think it's fairly okay compared to some other country in Africa. Compared to some other country in Africa. 46% of the population is living below poverty line. Unemployment rate is 9.4%. Unemployment rate is 9.4%. So if you have more than 50% living above poverty, labor force about 8 million. Now let's work with labor force. Because the major people that will be buying your product are labor force. 8.7 million people. 8.7 million people. Now, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to assess the market potential. And I'm saying you can go to CIA Fact Book. CIA Fact Book will give you an access to what is the market potential. What's the population of the people in this country? What is the size of the economy of this country? What is the per capita income? What is GDP per capita? So you have an idea of what the income level are for each of the class of people in the country. And that gives you a sense of whether you have a market or whether they will be able to buy your product. What are there foreign markets that the company can serve? What is the market potential abroad? Is there a foreign market that you can serve? You are looking at generally, what is the size of people buying detergent in the world? What's the size of the detergent market in the world? You're asking yourself that question, and you're also asking yourself, which of the market will you be interested in? Which of the market will you be interested in? Why do we need to ask these questions? These questions are germane, these questions are very important, these questions are very critical because of the nature of the item that you are selling. A lot of people are producing it. Like I said to the person that asked me that question, that called me today, I told her, you won't be able to, I won't recommend unless something drastic happen, unless, I won't recommend a market outside Africa. Not compete with the European. So you are better off doing all your analysis to remain within Africa. You are better off keeping all your analysis and ensuring that they remain within Africa. So I'm trying to check up now. I hope I'll be able to get that up. For this soap, detergent, soap generally, what's the market of soap like in the world in terms of trading? So you're checking that up, and to check that up, I would recommend atlas.media.mit.edu. Remember, the first one is CIA Fact Book. CIA Fact Book. CIA Fact Book. Let me drop that. I will drop that for you on the WhatsApp right now so you can see it. CIA Fact Book, number 1. That's for market research. Sorry, I'm trying to drop those information so that it becomes easier for individuals to know exactly what we're talking about. So the first one is CIA Fact Book. I've dropped that. That's for country analysis of economy and demography. I've just dropped that. Then the next one is the Atlas. Atlas.media.mit.edu. 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 Atlas.media.mit.edu is another very interesting website. This website will help you to be able to assess. The first one helps us with the economy, with the country in general. This one will help you to assess the export potential of that country. Export potential of that country. Sorry, export potential of your product rather. Export potential and markets around the world. I'm dropping this now. Export potential and markets around the world. Export potential and markets around the world. Export potential and markets around the world. Now, why are all these necessary? Like I said, all these are necessary in order to be able to help everybody find it a lot easier. Thank you very much, Ade Sheon Adewale. Thank you very much. I'm trying to do that here, but I really have not been able to do it. I'm having a network issue, so I've not been able to do it on my side here. But thank you for helping me to be able to drop it there. Now, what are we saying exactly? Checking out the market abroad, checking out the foreign market your company can serve. Who are the firms present and potential customers abroad? There are some customers you have locally that you might be able to do business with abroad if they are in their country. You are actually checking up. Does that exist? If that exists, that is something you want to explore. If that exists, that's something you want to explore. What are their needs and desires? Who are those that make the purchasing decision? You know, when I was looking at cream and I was telling you that a child might not be able to decide if you want to buy cream, but if it was food like some of these noodles, children are going to be the one to get their parent to buy. For soap, children will not be interested in soap. It's parents that will go and buy soap because they don't even want to bath in the morning in the first place. But for food, they are going to ask their parent and going to be influencing. So you're going to ask yourself, if it's going to be mainly driven by children, what's the population of children in that country? What's the population of children in that country? How are the products used? How are the products used? You know, don't assume that because you are selling a product and this is what you use it for in your country, that is what other countries are using it for. Don't make that mistake. I learned that lesson with Kuli Kuli Kuli. When we started marketing Kuli Kuli, our desire is to export Kuli Kuli to other African and Caribbeans who will use it as snack or eat it. But alas, this product got into Europe and we discovered that Asians are interested in buying it, especially the broken ones, because they don't just eat it the way we eat it, they put it in their own soup. So their soup contained Kuli Kuli. Their soup contained Kuli Kuli, and that was a very fascinating experience for me. Because their soup contained Kuli Kuli, that's interesting. That's interesting. Why? How on earth will you know that? Don't assume this is what they are using your product for. I would rather you investigate to know. I would rather you investigate to know. Because when you know what your product is being used for, then you know which direction or which area should your marketing go. How should you go about marketing in that location? When you know what your product is being used for, then you even know those that are using it because you know what your product is being used for. So beyond your own paradigm, beyond your own prejudice, beyond your own experience, beyond your own expectation, how do the market perceive your product, and what are they likely going to be using that product for? Beyond what you are already used to. Beyond what you are already used to. How difficult are certain government regulations in that market? If you have chosen a market, check up. Any market you want to choose. What's the regulation in that market? Are they very stringent generally, or stringent particularly about the product you are selling? What is their disposition to people coming into that market? What is their disposition? How stringent are they? How stringent are they? Are they really very stringent, or they are very lenient? Do they have a high tariff for your particular kind of product, or they really do not have a very high tariff? I'm saying, check up very well and confirm yourself. How difficult is it to enter that market? How well developed are foreign mass communication media? Will you be able to do mass communication using their media? How easy is it for you to advertise? What are the regulations guiding advertisement? How about distribution? How efficient is the channel of distribution of your product? Those that are already there, is there any complaint? These are very important questions you need to ask yourself before you select the market. Which product should your firm offer abroad? If you have different products, which of the product will you be offering in that market? At which stage in the life cycle is the product right now? At what price will you be selling in that market? What should be your firm pricing policy in that market? You know, pricing is a very important and critical aspect. There's something called dumping in international trade. Dumping. If I export a product to another country and I am selling my product in that other country at a price lower than the price I'm selling in my local market, that is called dumping. My product in Nigeria costs 1,000 naira locally. That is about £2. When I export it to the UK, I'm selling it at £1.5. As in, people are able to sell it profitably at £1.5. That is called dumping. Dumping is an offense. Many countries, we basically do what is called countervailing duties. They will give duty to your product that will increase the delivery price of your product to be more than £2 as a retaliation to you dumping your product in their country. By dumping now, it's not like dumping ground. The issue with dumping is this. People can do dumping to kill the competitors in the local market, and when the competitors have all died, they will increase their prices. So it's a strategy some people use to penetrate the market and sometimes to fiercely destroy their competitors. And in the bid to protect local industries, many countries come up with the dumping, anti-dumping policy and countervailing duties. Anti-dumping policy and countervailing duties. Anti-dumping policy and countervailing duties. So your pricing policy is very important. What are the characteristics and capability of available intermediaries? You can use intermediaries to enter the market. Sales representative, subsidiary, registering a sister company, export management company, export trading house. You can get a middleman to work with in that country. You can get a middleman to work it in that country. You can get a middleman to work with in that country. What are the characteristics and capability of available intermediaries? What are the costs of physical distribution in that market? Remember, the idea is this. You want to select a market. So you have looked at different markets where, number one, what's the potential of your product? The total market, for example, for chocolate, which is about $25 billion. Then I'm asking myself, there are 5 major countries that buys, among other countries that buys. Out of the 5 major countries that buy, I can now ask myself, what we are doing now is, which of them should I consider? And what are the factors that will help me to take an informed decision to consider the one that will be most appropriate for me? That's what we are discussing if you are just joining us. What are the costs of physical distribution? What are the communication needs of the foreign market? What are the communication needs of the foreign market? What do I need to do to be able to communicate, to promote in the foreign market? Are there foreign laws against competitive advertising? In some countries, you can't, if you want to advertise, just advertise. You can't compare your product with another product. You can't compare your product with another product. If you want to advertise, go ahead and advertise. Just advertise your product and stop comparison. Some countries do not allow comparison. Just go ahead and advertise your product. Leave other products out and stop comparing. What is the foreign law against competitive advertising? Is there a need for personal selling to promote the product? Do I need to get a foreign sales representative who will go from store to store, from company to company, from business to business, to do personal selling of the product? Would that be necessary? And what should be the nature of the foreign sales effort? What should be the nature of the foreign sales effort? All that I've spoken about, you can, if you are doing a research, I would strongly recommend you consider. I'm trying to see if I can just drop now a list of different websites. I tried to do that before. Let me see if my network will allow me. A list of different websites that we can use to be able to do this market research. A list of different websites where you can do this market research. I've been able to drop just two. Sorry, I'm trying to see. Let me see if I'll be able to log in. What I'm trying to do is to log in to see if I'll be, okay, yes, I've been able to log in. That's nice. So I'm going to drop all of them now. Apart from the one I dropped before, I'm dropping all of them, yes. I've just dropped now a set of websites. A set of websites I have on the list. The CIA Fat Book. I have on the list the CIA. What I'm trying to do is to log in to see if I'll be. Yes, I've been dropped now. Sorry, I'm having a feedback. A set of website. I will need to close that. I'm having a feedback. I've dropped it, but I don't know if it has if it's opening because I'm trying to. A set of websites I have on the list. Okay. Yeah. I have on the list okay, so I've been able to reduce the volume. I need to quickly do something. I just want to ensure I drop this before I close before we finish this. I don't know if anybody can see it. All right, very good. I think fantastic. I've been able to drop it. All right, so I'll be closing now. Thank you very much for listening today. My name is Dela Imibo, and this is Import Export Platform, Facebook Live from 3 Import Trade Academy. See you tomorrow morning tomorrow. I don't want to say morning because it's been very tough catching up in the morning because of my classes. I have 7 a.m. classes every morning on Saturday discussing trade and doing some tutorial for some bankers. So I don't know if I'll be able to make it tomorrow, but let's see. I'm supposed to be discussing alternative routes to market. And I'll be looking at different options as we continue our conversations on export market entry strategy. Remember, this video is always on YouTube channel, 3T Impest TV. Remember to also visit the channel. Kindly subscribe to the YouTube channel, click notification button, drop your comment, share the video, and like the video. Have a great weekend, and bye for now.